Get with us down below. What's happening, good people? Back on the move again. Turn this heat down. How you doing today? As usual, in the morning time, I'm headed to the gym, trying to get my workout in, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how the organization started. So as you're starting to file in, give us some likes, do some shares, and please comment, let us know where you're watching from, where you're from, city and state. And if you're watching this on replay, make sure you type replay below to let us know that you're following up with our material. We like to stay engaged, and we'll I'll start answering feedback as soon as I get in. What's happening, Julia? How you doing? All right, thumbs up to you as well. All right, I see the team is getting on board. All right, so let's just dive right in. So I'm often asked, how did the organization start? How did Urban Intellectuals start? And, I would be a lie if I told you like, oh no, we started with this grandiose vision and we just built it up and we really pushed it out. That's just not the truth. It really grew organically over time, but ironically, the story starts in 1929, centered around my father. My father is a big influence in my life, particularly with instilling the love of history in me. Hey, how you doing? Houston, Texas in the building. All right. Yeah. So again, if you're watching this on replay, I need to back all the way up. My name is Freddie. I'm the CEO and founder of Urban Intellectuals. We also have an extension called the Sankofa Club. SankofaClub.com is pretty dope. Digital activities box. But I'm participating in a 21-day live challenge. They're trying to get me to move from behind the desk to in front of the camera. My hesitancy with that is I don't want to become synonymous with the organization. I want the people to understand that the organization is bigger than me. It's way bigger than me. It's actually about you. And there are many, 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 many more people involved in growing this organization and making it what it is today. Volunteers from our admins on Facebook to the executive team and even the freelancers and writers and that we have involved. So anyway, I won't go into all that. I'll save that for another day. But we appreciate them all and we appreciate you. So again, my name is Freddie. I'm the CEO and founder of Urban Intellectuals. But I'm talking to you today about the history of the company and how it started. So I typically only give a snapshot version of this story, but I'll give you the full story today. I'll try to keep it as quick as I can. I'm rather verbose anyway. But it started in 1929. That's the year that my father was born. So my parents are older. They were 46 and 40 years old when I was born. So I remember going to school and, people talking to me about, oh, your grandparents, but, they were actually my parents. So it's pretty interesting. I'm sure some of you at least have that particular story. But it was great growing up to parents that was older, more settled. I'm the baby of 7 kids, by the way. And I'm the baby by 6 years. They still treat me like the baby, but it's pretty cool. I'm spoiled rotten and all that good stuff. But I was raised with supreme confidence, and I always thought that whatever I put my mind to, I could achieve. My parents reinforced that, and then success in life has reinforced it as well. What's happening, Crystal? How you doing? Okay, so anyway, getting back to the story. So growing up, my father was big on history. Like he was always talk to me about the relevance and the importance of history. And of course, as a young person, you're 10, 11, 12 years old, what do you really care or understand about the significance of history? So I was like any other young person. I really wasn't that involved. I wasn't that enthralled with it. I didn't understand. I used to say the similar things that you hear not only children but adults say today. Man, it's in the past, leave it in the past. Things are different now. But my father, again, being born in 1929, lived through a lot of the history that we talked about and was impacted by it. In fact, we grew up in a quote unquote suburb of Detroit, but it wasn't really a suburb. It was a redlined area that was designated for the black community to be in underprivileged, underserved, underfunded areas like they did to many of your grandparents throughout time. So like when you get around these right-wing nut jobs or even these leftists that really don't care about you, And they get to talking about, well, none of the policies, that was all in the past. It doesn't impact you. It doesn't affect you. Well, that's really garbage, because a lot of them built their wealth centered around real estate and the growth of it over time. And we were flat out shut out of that environment. I mentioned 2 books yesterday, The Color of Law and The Color of Money, where it really illustrates, segregation, redlining, the depletion of our banks and things of that nature, to kind of show you that no, this injustice didn't happen just hundreds of years ago. We're talking 30 years ago. We're talking 40 years ago. And it continues today. The repercussions of those things continue today. But I'm getting a little bit off track. So my father was big on history and was really trying to instill this importance in me. And I remember throughout high school, he used to pay me $10 per chapter that I read in books that he designated, and we sat down and we had discussions with, trying to motivate me to read our history and understand the importance of it and have a background, because like you, I grew up in the educational system, the Western educational system, public schools, again, in the underfunded, underserviced area that really just taught the hypocrisy and lies that the American educational system is known for. I was miseducated through the school system, so he was trying to add a level of understanding to me, of which, we tried to expound into our fan base and our customer base, so that they can in turn help their children. So going through the educational system, he was trying to get me some Black history, give me an understanding of why it's important that we learn these things. As a teenager, I didn't learn, I didn't understand. I took the money, had the discussions, forgot the information and ran. Then I go to college, right? So the year is 1994. If you're counting, I'm 42 years old. So the year is 1994. I go to college. I get exposed to all these interesting ideas, interesting people, thinking outside of the box, talking to, some 5%ers, talking to a lot of different groups. The nation, I'm talking to Christian groups. I'm just talking to any and everybody. I got into philosophy, and I think that really kind of triggered me to start thinking a bit more, starting to understand and read philosophy. Then I graduated undergraduate school. Then I go into grad school. I went to get my MBA. I got an undergraduate in marketing. I got a master's in business administration. So now the year is 1999, and I'm taking this course, the history of economics. The history of economics. This was probably the best course I've ever had in my life. It was just really incredible. It was enlightening, being that I am a business nerd and I'm into economics, capitalism. I'm into that, but I believe that you can be a social capitalist. I'm not just a cutthroat capitalist, by the way. But again, if you're watching this, my name is Freddie. I'm the CEO and founder of Urban Intellectuals. If you're watching this on replay, type replay and let us know where you're from and all that good stuff in the comments below. Join our mailing list, facebook.com. I got Facebook on the brain. urbanintellectuals.com/family. You see it in the frame below, urbanintellectuals.com/family. We're trying to build up our mailing list so that we can make sure that we're sharing all of the information that we put out on a daily basis to our people, because the Facebook and social media algorithm is really compressing our views and making it difficult for you to see our content. So if you connect with us directly, that's even better. Or you can go to your Google, the Play Store or the App Store, and download our mobile app. It's all free. Urban Intellectuals, just California in the building. Urban Intellectuals. If you search that in your Play or App Store. So anyway, it's 1999. I'm in this history of economics course. It's very interesting. I'm all in. I'm a decent student when I'm engaged and I'm trying to learn and I'm in the process. So our teacher made it very engaging. But anyway, the thing that, there was 2 moments, but one was he introduced me to the Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma. And in fact, we had this paper to write, and he said, Freddie, I don't know if you ever heard of this, but I think you should write a paper on Black Wall Street. And I was, at the time, I'm like, what is that? Like, I guess it wasn't, social media wasn't popping. The internet was only like 5 years old. So, this type of information was still kind of hidden in our community. I had never heard about it. I don't know, I'm not sure that I know it wasn't as widespread as it is today. But anyway, I write this paper and I'm absolutely floored by the story. One, I've always thought that economics was our route to helping ourselves, like, generating the money, circulating it around the community. But then to find out that it happened you know, almost 100 years ago, 80 years ago at the time, was just really like, wow, people really were on this. Like, this is really a good idea. And then, you know, of course, I'm reading about the bombing and the deviousness involved in that and the lies of the woman that said the porter groped her in the elevator, which was absolute garbage, which reminds me of the Emmett Till accuser who later in life decides that she's going to tell the truth, that she lied, and that young boy lost his life. Absolutely ridiculous. That woman should have been hung on the spot. I don't care how old she is. Like, if you causing the death of people, talk about terrorism. But anyway, again, I get going, people, but a lot of this stuff is intertwined and it's connected. There, I'm parked. Okay. So, Black Wall Street, right? So I'm floored. I'm like, man, all this information is crazy. Then I read another book called, it's Na'im Akbar, Breaking the Psychological Chains of Slavery. Na'im Akbar's Breaking the Psychological Chains of Slavery. This book right here is like it. You know, I was a young ghetto boy going to college, thought he knew everything, was cocky. I was a football player. I had a full scholarship. You know, I thought I was the joint. I read this book and he broke down 6 characters in the black community, and I saw myself in each one of them at different points in the day, and it kind of changed me overnight. Like, I really became a different person. If you meet some people that know me from college, they're like, Freddie? You know, I was a little wild, a little rambunctious. I was young, but yeah, it really blew my mind, right? So coming off of that course and coming off of reading that book, I started this, I just call it Black Profiles. So I would go to the copy store and I would print Black profiles out on sheets of paper, you know, staple them together and sell them around campus for a quarter or 50 cents to raise money for it. Because I started to realize how important it was for us to understand our history and know where we're from, and to know the importance of the shoulders of which we stand. You know, we all, again, as a young person, I thought that it was all about what I did, but I didn't realize how many people had knocked down so many doors for me to even have the opportunity, 1, to get a full ride scholarship to play a sport, you know, 2, to go to this institution that used to be all white, you know, and 3, they gave me money to go there. Like, it's crazy. And then, you know, the opportunities are endless, and the people that came before us did it. So I started thinking and realizing how important that was. So I'm disseminating the information, and then, you know, I graduate, and I'm like, man, what am I going to do with this? I came up with the name Urban Intellectuals in 2002. I'm gonna give you a blast from the past. I started a Yahoo group. Do you remember that? Like, if you remember that, give me some likes and hearts. Some of y'all might not be old enough to even remember Yahoo used to have groups that was like popping, right? So this is from 2002 to 2004. I had moved to Texas at the time, and it was really... Oh, thank you, Elaine. We appreciate you. All right, Charlotte in the building. We love you too. It was really interesting, right? So I'm trying to grow it. I didn't really know anything about the internet. I didn't go to school for it. So in 2004, I started designing my own websites for another business I had. I used to own a real estate appraisal company. So in 2004, I needed an appraisal website for my appraisal company. Couldn't afford, you know, to pay anyone to buy it. So I got some books. I did what I normally do. I grabbed some books and started teaching myself. And I started growing and getting a little bit better. And then in 2004, I bought urbanintellectuals.com. First domain I ever owned in my life. I didn't realize you had to renew it each year. So in 2005, I lost it. And I'm like, oh man, I can't believe I lost it. I'm really disgusted about that. I got into some other stuff. I started a real estate investment magazine. So I've always been enamored with publishing. John H. Johnson is one of my mentors. Not personally, I've just read his books, followed his story, been inspired by him. I've always been inspired by, once I started getting deeper into our history, I got inspired by the black newspapers over the time and their relevance and their importance to the community. So I started to realize that it was these newspapers and publishing outlets that was really educating us about us as a people, because John H. Johnson did Ebony and Jet used to talk about the culture, and they would show us differently from what the white-owned establishments and media outlets were showing. They were showing nothing but violence and you know, madness, and depicting us as rapists and killers and just destroying the mentality of the people. You know, it's propaganda. You know, MK Ultra. You got to really, we're not really thinking. These images are important. So when Ebony and Jet came out, it was very important because black people got to see black people doing wonderful things. Contemporary folks, you know, not only reading about the Harlem Renaissance, but seeing it in their current day. It was really a spectacular endeavor, and I'm really disappointed that the children of that man lost that, or really just floundered that company. It was really such an important company. In fact, I'm gonna skip a little bit. When I moved to Chicago, the first place that I visited was 800 South Michigan Avenue, which is the building that John H. Johnson purchased. And at a time when no black people were buying on Michigan Avenue at all. In fact, he dressed up as a janitor and had his white Jewish lawyer go and present himself as the owner, and said he wanted his janitor there so they can inspect the guts of the building. All of the time, you know, the guy was acting as a proxy for John H. Johnson. And that's how he bought that building. Just a fascinating story. It's a fascinating man in a fascinating time. Started his business with $500 loan from his grandmother, succeeding against the odds. That's a book. That's his book, John H. Johnson, that I'm speaking from. So, all right, fast forward. I'm doing some other stuff. Getting in some things, 2006, 2007, I'm building my real estate company. The crash comes, and I'm like, oh man, I need to get out of this business. This is too stressful. I won't go into the details about it, but I was like, I'm too talented. I can do something else, right? So I'm like, all right, I've been building websites now, so I started a web design company. And then, oh my goodness, urbanintellectuals.com is available again in 2009. Now, over the time, the guy's trying to sell me the domain. You'll never get it now, people. Don't worry about it. I got this thing locked up forever. But I bought the domain, didn't really have any plans on it. That 2009 is when I also got on Facebook, and I started engaging and growing a community there and talking and learning about internet marketing. I was doing some other stuff on the net. And basically just having fun, engaging. Urban Intellectuals at the time was just all about engagement. We've come back to that now, but just getting the community conversing about our impact on this world, you know, our educational system and how things are impacting us and what can we do to, you know, kind of change things, trying to get the people to talk, you know, and engage and come up with their own ideas. Because I don't feel like I have the ideas, but I feel like I can build the platform for people with ideas to shine. So that's kind of always been my mentality. And that's why I stayed in the background, because if I can put the platform together and bring the people, then other individuals that are far more talented than I can have a platform to speak from that's owned by black people that love black people. So they won't be censored. They won't be monitored. They won't be any of that. They'll have a space to shine from and then lead the revolution, right? So this is what I'm always thinking, right? Okay, so 2009, 10, 11 go by, and I'm, you know, got my my web design business. It's growing, blah, blah, blah. I started learning a few little tactics, and I started making some money off of Urban Intellectuals. I'm like, you know, this kind of has some merit. Maybe I should be the media outlet. So I started trending towards media, trying to focus on positive propaganda. That was kind of our thing, like promoting the positive side of the black community in hopes to inspire us to continue to grow and inspire the next generation, right? So 14 comes around. Towards the end of 14, I started making as much money in Urban Intellectuals as I did with my web design company. So I started to figure, well, what if I went all in on Urban Intellectuals and dumped my web design company? So that's what I decided to do. Actually, I still own the web design company. I still have clients. I'm not taking any more clients. I actually wish that they would move on somewhere else, but you know, so I can focus 100%, but it's cool. You know, what a problem. Woe is me, right? I got clients that like our service. So that's pretty dope. Okay. So it's 2014. Now it's 2015. My COO comes on board and he's like, man, look, I see you doing some great things. We can get together and really blow this thing out. Can y'all still hear me? I know my car just turned off, so I don't know if you can still hear me. Give me some likes or something, thumbs up if you can still hear. Do I need to turn the car back on? All right, are we good? I'm not seeing action. Heart, I got a heart. All right, so I'm assuming y'all can hear me. Okay, thank you. All right, I appreciate it. All right, so 2015, I'm back. I'm all in. Oh, you can hear us. Great. Thank you. Okay. All right. Sign up for urbanintellectuals.com/family. If you haven't yet joined our mailing list. Facebook is really trying to minimize our reach and scope. So we're trying to get as many people to join us as we can, or download our mobile app, search Urban Intellectuals on the App Store or the Play Store. Cool. It's all free. And we got great information for you. You know, the app is dope. We got a social media network coming. We got to have a whole bunch of stuff that is coming. So we need to be in touch with you. Okay, so again, I'm Freddie, the CEO and founder of Urban Intellectuals. I'm giving you the history of our company. So it's 2015. My COO comes on board, and we're like, we're about to blow this thing out. We're really trying to figure out what we need to do. All of this, man, you know, we're sharing wonderful information. We're writing articles. We're providing things that come out. You know, Facebook changing their algorithm, Google doing the same. Like everything, the environment in the internet marketing world is always kind of crazy. So in 2015, 2016, where I'm always thinking, okay, you know, I kind of need something tangible. Now my pic is blurry. I messed it up, huh? I'm probably, let me know if that's better. Okay. Maybe I should go smaller. All right, so the whole time I'm thinking about how can we have a bigger impact? How can we reach, not only reach more people, but the people that we do reach, how can we help them better understand history? And better yet, how can we help them help the next generation? Because, okay, between what I told you about 1999 or 1994 and going to college and going through the educational system, I had children. So my first child was born in 1999. My second child was born in 2003. And watching them over the years go through the educational system, so I got to go through it for a second time. So I got to see it from my parents' eyes, from a parent's eyes. So now they're bringing home this information, and they're bringing home these assignments, and they're bringing home these stories and the books they're reading. And I'm like, that's a bold-faced lie. That's a lie. I used to tell my children, if you decide you just want to say that that's a bold-faced lie, then tell them, and then tell them to call me, and I'll be in the principal's office, and we'll all sit down and have a conversation. So at any point in time, if you want to go left and say it, then say it, because I got your back. Now, I always tell parents, I always got something to share, but I always tell parents to get involved in the school. You know, you should know everyone from the janitor to the principal to the superintendent. They should know you. You should be in there all the time, but you should be in there giving first. So our tactic was to join the PTA, get on the board. My wife even got on the board of the school district, but you know, we're 10 plus year veterans in the PTA, like leading all of the bake sales and the candy apple sales and all of that good stuff. And the book reading nights, donuts with dads, the dances, like did all of that. But when it came time that we needed something for our children, everybody knew us. You know, the assistant principals. No, I never had any problem getting a meeting with the principals because they know that we were there giving, and we were involved parents. Our children weren't disruptive. They were disciplined. They were smart. They were intelligent. They were engaged. And we found that the school district bent over backwards for us. So it was really a wonderful experience. But seeing the educational system from that perspective kind of changed me, because I'm like, man, we got to do something. And one, I could never figure out why no one has written a Black history curriculum for teachers to implement. So that's something we're working on. Don't nobody steal my idea. We're actually in process of doing that now. But in 2015, I'm like, man, we need something. And then I started to think, like, what did I wish I would have had when my children were smaller, right? Because the tactics I was using was what my father showed me. I was having them read chapters, paying them for discussions, right? Then it just hit me one day like flashcards. Like, I learned with flashcards throughout college. Like, flashcards was like a really simple idea to help you teach and maintain information. And bam, 2017, you know, we started in 16, putting the information together. And, you know, of course, the first time you do something is really tough and difficult. But we got it together. It wasn't ready until May, June of 2017. And boom. You know, like, we dropped it. Y'all loved it. You were engaged. It was amazing. It took us a long time to get 2 out. But now, you know, we finally have volume 3 and volume 4 out. You know, more are coming, but that'll be next year. But the response was incredible. People were clearly looking for ways to help their children grow and understand more about our history. And then I also started getting feedback from parents saying, man, you know, these are great because I don't really know a lot about Black history. I'm embarrassed to say that, but this allows me to share with the next generation the things that they should know that the school systems are leaving out as well. So I don't parents, I don't fault you because I was miseducated just like you. Don't be embarrassed. Get your education, right? So when we created the product, it was just really like, man, this was like really impactful. We get these amazing stories of parents and grandparents sharing their use of the cards and the engagement that they're getting from their children. Like, you talk about a reward. Like, man, look, we've made a couple of dollars. That's pretty cool too. But the reward is we're really making an impact. Like, people are really enjoying the product and they're really using them to engage and grow the next generation. So it's like, wow, we can have a real impact. Like, this is really cool. So I get up every day. I'm excited. I'm excited to get to work. You know, I'm excited to work all night. It doesn't really bother me because I'm really doing something I love. In fact, I'm doing something that I was doing for free for years. Like, I was doing it for free, not getting paid. And if I had a different job or a different occupation, I would be working to do this anyway, because I just feel like it's needed in the community. And one of my goals in life is to be a philanthropist. Like, I want to give. So this is like, man, I can build a business around giving. Like, it's incredible, right? So it just makes my heart smile, right? So that's man, and then we're here today and we're still grinding, still trying to figure out new ways to provide innovative ideas and products to help you be a better person, to have a better understanding of your history, and to build more confidence in your children. Because throughout the years, what we found is, I was trying to read it. Okay, throughout the building and the studying, what we found is that children who better understand their history and their culture have more self-confidence, and their self-confidence isn't rooted in, you know, materialism and what they see in the mirror, but it's rooted in their history, in their ancestors. It's rooted in their culture and their pride of self. And like, that confidence translates into better performance in school, better performance at home, in the community, in their profession, adult lives, as they grow to become parents. Like, these studies from the 70s, 80s, and the 90s are out there that self-confidence rooted in cultural and historical understanding of their people just creates better people. Like, we're going to talk about that in some of the webinars that we'll be doing next month. But man, to know that we can have an impact on that. So we just got to keep creating and making better products and more innovative things that you can insert into your life. So like the Sankofa Club, sankofaclub.com is a digital activities box where, you know, instead of buying the cards each month, you can just print out different activities to engage with your children. It's like coloring and mazes and little projects. Do you remember Highlights magazine? Give me some likes and hearts if you remember Highlights magazine. That used to be my joint, right? So it's kind of like Highlights magazine for black people. So you got all the little activities, you know, circle the missing figures. Oh, Imhotep's arm is missing. Oh, who's Imhotep? Oh, there's a vocabulary list that you're following along with the children. So it's pretty dope, man. Like, I'm loving it. We love creating it. The impact on the parents. We have about 450 people in the program right now. But we shut down membership. I think we're opening up on the 2nd or the 12th. Forrest, if you could put that date down there. I forget. But you can sign up. You can get with us at urbanintellectuals.com/family. Get more information about that, or go to sankofaclub.com. But there go another thinking outside of the box idea to try to give parents more tools in their tool belt to properly culturally educate their children with culturally relevant education materials and activities. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And now, you know, moving forward every day, that's what we're building on, trying to increase our product line to not only just make more products, to be making more products, but to make more products that are impactful and effective and useful in not only like our existence, but yours as a parent, yours as a friend, yours as a community leader, yours as someone who is engaging. So we're moving from just engaging one another to giving you tools and tactics so that you can go out and engage the community, because we can get far more reach and have far more impact if not we were doing it, but you. So if we can make you a better steward of our history and our culture and that understanding, then we can have a better community globally. At least that's how we see it, right? So I guess you could drop any questions on the 12th, right, okay. Yeah, check that comment out. You can learn more about us at urbanintellectuals.com/family. Join our mailing list. We'll be giving out more information. But that's the complete backstory of Urban Intellectuals. I think I overshared a bit, but I love this company. I love what we're doing. So I'm just really excited to share this with y'all. I can't believe that I get paid to engage the community in culturally engaging history and culture and information and education. It's unbelievable. I'm truly living a dream, and I hope it just gets better. So we're definitely working for that. One other tool I wanted to mention. So our Black History playing cards. I don't know if you've seen our live from the other day, but the blackest card you will ever see. So we erased the white faces off the king, the joker, and the queen, and all of that good stuff. And we have black faces of the Moors, the queen, the pharaoh. We got the Harlem Renaissance and the warrior queen as the jokers. But each of the cards contain either a Black History quote or a Black History fact. So while you're playing games, you can still engage in our history and our activity. Then we got the Andrikas symbols of Ghana as the numbers instead of hearts and diamonds. It's really interesting. Like, we're always bouncing different ideas and always trying to come with something that's going to be culturally relevant, engaging, fun, and everybody can learn and grow at the same time. So I'm at the gym, people. Fitness is one of my things. Health is wealth. Get some in your life. So I'm about to go ahead and get mine today. But I enjoyed sharing a little bit about Urban Intellectuals and the backstory of how we came to be. So hopefully you enjoyed it as well. If you have any questions, drop them down below. Hit us in the inbox. You see we're pretty responsive. And please join our mailing list, urbanintellectuals.com/family, urbanintellectuals.com/family, or download our mobile app, Urban Intellectuals, on the Google Store and the Play Store. All right, people, it's the CEO, Freddie. I'm out. Have a good one.